China's a weird place.
What's up with that? Hey Laowinners, it's Lao86 here with another video. Actually, we're in this really, really nice cafe.
This is a really good friend of mine's cafe that she's letting us film here, and it's actually really great. If you're ever in Huizhou, check out Leisure Cafe. It's great.
I like the decor because it's all filmmaker stuff, actually.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
It is.
Actually, today we're going to talk about, it's kind of a difficult topic because we're going to cover a lot of different things. But the main thing that we're going to cover today is the enormous boom in China's streaming.
Yes. Right? For those of you who are not too familiar with live streaming, basically there are over 150 apps within China alone where you hold your phone to your face and people watch you do things live. And in China, they can send you money and gifts and like little hearts that pop up in the screen like that, like this. Paste effect.
There you go.
And
now, why should you care about this? Well, the biggest difference is, yes, there is streaming in the West, right? Especially in America, but it's the majority is on Twitch and on Periscope, and it's usually video game related, actually, right?
Yeah.
But there's a huge, huge divide in China. It's totally, totally different because people are actually streaming much more personal things than most Westerners would probably find comfortable doing. Now, the viewership in America for live streams is predominantly male because it's video game related.
Yep.
And it's the same in China. But in China, 80% of the actual live streamers are women.
Yeah, like we mentioned at the beginning of the video, China's a bizarre place. And like you mentioned, 80% of the people are women. The other 20% are just they're men. But there's only one other option.
Now, I think that every country where streaming is becoming really, really popular, it kind of shows an insight or a window into that country's culture. For example, in Korea, streaming was massively popular, but the majority of streams were people eating, right?
Yeah.
Eating, because in Korean culture, I believe you told me about this, right? Why do they like to watch that?
Now, the reason why that is that Korean people don't, generally speaking, like to eat alone, so they would watch other people eat on the live stream so that they kind of, I guess, have someone to eat with, I guess.
The cultural insight into China, however, is the majority of these women streaming are either promiscuously or sexually showing off their body, and they're doing things that are sexually suggestive in nature. Because in China there are quite a few men that cannot find girlfriends or wives simply due to the surplus of men, so that their only solace is to watch these live streaming women and have some sort of connection with them, right? Number two, Chinese people, I think most people know, are incredibly business savvy and super, super good at finding ways to make money. And because China's streaming service is monetized, unlike the other monetization services that Western streams have, they found ways to actually get online gifts, internet gifts, right? So you'll see little cakes and little Ferraris and stuff, and they're worth real money.
It's real money that they're making. So much money that it's a $20 billion industry. Just to put that in perspective, because that number doesn't really mean much, that is the same as the annual budget of NASA.
NASA.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Now, again, like you were talking about for culture, the strange thing, because they're being kind of sexually promiscuous or something like that on the live stream, the odd thing is that it's incredibly open. For example, I went to go buy a bottle of water at the corner store, and the guy that was behind the counter was just like watching a girl live streaming right there, not doing anything too promiscuous, just kind of being a cute,
Sure.
Ooh, you know, like whatever, and accepting all the money on the thing. It's really open. People are just on the street watching live streams.
And it's everywhere, and it's now I think I read somewhere that it's like over 500 million streams broadcasted per year now, or 500 million people watching streams per year now in China, which means that it's become ingrained into Chinese culture. It's now the cool thing to do and watch, right?
Yeah.
Now, the thing that it leads to actually is China has a really difficult relationship with a kind of big brother and censorship. China is always, especially in communist China, has always had a problem with internet freedom and expression. And now with this massive boom where everyone can stream themselves in an online society of 150 plus streaming apps, how does the government control something like that?
Exactly, right? Because they can say or do whatever they want. It's live. You can't just cut that. You can't just stop it from happening. It's happening it's live.
It's live.
Yeah.
Not like us right now.
No.
And the thing is, this has led to 1,000 prominent streamers, who, some of them are making millions of dollars a year, by the way, getting banned and actually facing legal trouble in Shanghai.
Yeah, this is one of the extremes of the harsh reality of being on the internet in China, is that there are a few people, like you said, that have been banned for doing something that I guess the government didn't really agree with on the internet.
Now, the thing is, usually when the government does crack down on something, it is political in nature, but we have not seen any evidence of these streamers doing anything like that. The majority of them have been being banned under the government's new laws of what you can stream and what you can't stream. And of course, you're not allowed to talk about anything political in nature, but people aren't. What they're doing is sucking on bananas, right? So these girls are sucking on bananas.
Literally.
Literally.
It's not like a figure
bananas.
of speech.
Right. And that was the first thing that was actually banned by the government, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the funny thing is that in response to the banana sucking thing, after your account gets banned, then two things happen. Number one, all of the people that want to suck bananas go to the other apps that are not being banned. Number two,
Banana sucking apps.
the banana sucking apps.
Personal favorite of mine.
Number two, people started sucking cucumbers. So we're going to kind of catch 22 here, government, because they're going to keep sucking different stuff, and you can't just randomly blanket ban different vegetables, right?
Yeah.
The next thing it followed was a ban on showing cleavage. So girls would pull down their shirts. I'm not going to do it in here. I'm not a girl. I don't have boobs. I don't have cleavage.
No.
What happened was girls were pulling down their shirts and showing their cleavage on streams. Government banned that. Again, everyone migrated over to unregulated apps to watch that kind of stuff. And the other thing that the government started to ban was gross eating of strange things. So there was actually this woman, and I wanted to get into this. There was this old, I'm not gonna say old, she's like 50 years old woman who was eating like entire bowls of wasabi and like throwing up, you know, and like just ridiculous, like a whole ostrich foot, you know, like
an ostrich
raw.
foot?
Yeah, like ridiculous, crazy stuff. One of her most famous ones is she took like, I don't know, 20 or 30 cigarettes that were lit and then ate the lit cigarettes. That was like a live stream, right?
Wow.
Now, this is newsworthy stuff, but I want to talk about the stuff that I harvested, right?
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I have some stuff here on my phone, right? And on my phone, I actually found that the most popular streaming app in China, Yinke, has cleaned up. I don't see anything super sexy on there anymore and super funny. But what I did download was a new really popular app called Kuaibo. And the stuff on there, I'm going to say, is 80% girls showing their cleavage and putting on stockings and fishnets and stuff, which is banned, right? Mm-hmm. Banned. And number two is just some of the most bizarre things you've ever seen in your life. I just found a stream of a guy with a pet bear, and he just chills with his bear and feeds him like candy and stuff. And like I'm just waiting for him to get mauled on live stream.
What if the bear sucked the banana? Does the bear get banned?
I feel like the bear would get banned, but he just moved to another app, you know?
Fair enough.
That's how things are working. Another thing that I actually found was a guy that sets up random traps to catch animals, right? Sounds okay. So I'm reading through these, or scrolling through these live streams, and he's like, oh, this is a bird I caught today. And it's just some like songbird, you know? Oh, this is the fox I caught today. This is a rabbit, whatever. It's all legal game to catch, right? Then all of a sudden I see one, and it's a cat. And then the next video is him bringing the cat to a restaurant because he's going to cook his rare trapped animals. There's a trapped cat feed, cooking trapped cats feed on this app.
Now, living in China for a number of years, you kind of stop being surprised by all the things that happen here. You kind of run out of, you kind of stop going, oh my God, or oh wow. It just kind of, well, that happens.
Right.
Honestly, streaming caught me by surprise. Some of the stuff you were showing me on some of the apps are like pretty bizarre, kind of, oh my God, worthy, events.
Absolutely.
Now, why is the government trying to kind of crack down on live streaming? Well, what we think, anyways, a core part of Chinese culture is having a good reputation or face value on something. So whether you're a moral person or not doesn't actually matter. You just have to look like a moral person. And so the government is looking at these people sucking bananas, showing cleavage, trapping cats, whatever. And they're kind of saying, you can't do that because you're kind of making the country look bad. They don't want that to kind of get out, and so they're getting on it. But how do you think that they're actually going to do this? I mean, it's live streaming. It's kind of hard to block that.
That's the thing. Something I actually wanted to expand on there was that a lot of people in the West think of the word censorship in China. When they put those together, automatically think it's political in nature, when in fact it is exactly what you just said. It's maintaining an image of purity or an image of a semi-moral society, right? So that leads me to where and how are they going to actually pull this off?
Yeah.
You can catch people, like for example, they just banned motorcycles in Huizhou. You could set up blockades and take keys out of bikes and take the bikes. That's a simple law, easy to enforce, right? But in a internet user base of over 800 million people and 500 million people delving into these live streams, how in God's name do you actually control the content going out there? You can control it on the main apps, but you can't control overnight. I can make my own app to host all these live streams. It takes a pretty cheap server to run something like that, right?
Yeah. And as Westerners as well, it's kind of easy to kind of point the finger, be like, oh, censorship, oh, freedoms are being taken away. Yeah, but I mean, Chinese people don't really mind that most of the time. They've always trusted the government beyond all things. It's always been one government controlling it. And in some cases, like the extremes we were mentioning before, it's actually not bad because it stops things like child pornography being posted on live streams, which does happen, unfortunately.
It does happen. I've actually read a few things about that. And that's what's really weird about China, is because of the gray areas in the legal system. Pornography in China is blanket illegal.
Yeah.
It's just illegal.
So there's
right?
no difference between child pornography and just pornography. They're both
an
not okay.
18-year-old and a 12-year-old. It's exactly the same law here in China, right? So the thing is, that lack of distinction in the law meant that there is child pornography on live streams, right? Because there is no regulation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are some ramifications there, and it might be a good thing, and I kind of understand how China's kind of trying to scramble to cover some of this stuff up, for sure. That being said, it's going to be near impossible to stop people from streaming. And number two, even if they manage to, calm the storm a little bit, there's no way that they're going to open up a giant war. It's an immediate loss on the government's part, for sure. People are going to find a way to stream.
Okay. I kind of agree. I think people are still going to find a way to stream. I think they can't just shut down streaming completely. People want to do it, obviously. There's a lot of people streaming in China. I just think that the government's going to have their hand in all of the apps and have some kind of regulation so that, maybe there's some kind of algorithm or some kind of way where they find out if something's happening on the stream that's not okay, they can just go ahead and shut it down. So I think people will still stream. I just think the government needs to have a hand in it somehow.
Sure.
To keep it clean, to keep it Chinese, to keep it safe. That's where we think this whole thing is going. Where do you guys think it's going? What do you think of the whole situation? What's streaming like in America? Because we just straight up don't know anymore.
And if you guys get a chance, go check out some of these crazy apps. Like, you will never be bored.
No,
it's some crazy stuff.
It's entertainment for hours for the whole family. That's
sure.
Not true. But yeah, don't show your family. So let us know what you guys think. Post it in the comments section below.
You know what? This gives me an idea.
Sure.
This gives me a little idea. Now,
I have a funny feeling you're going to think of another challenge.
I think you're right. There's no way that you knew that I was going to come up with that earlier.
Yeah, I see a pattern.
I see a pattern here. I actually came up with a little challenge here, and I think it'll be a really fun one. Now, we talked about the virtual currency of gifts from streams, right? So you go on there, and if somebody likes you, they give you gifts that are converted into real money.
Actual money, yeah.
Now, because streaming is so different, we know what streaming is like on YouTube. We've done it for our subscribers.
For a while.
What we don't know is actually how to stream in China. So I'm going to choose the most popular streaming app here in China.
Okay.
We're going to set up the camera, and we're going to go head-to-head right next to each other. No rules, okay?
Okay, no holds barred.
No holds barred. I mean, we shouldn't mess with each other too much, but maybe we
Chair to the face.
Maybe some cheats. Maybe we'll bring the kid in, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
that's not fair.
Yeah, no, I said no rules. The competition will be who gets, at the end of the stream, we'll come up with a time, maybe half an hour. At the end of the stream, who gets the most virtual gifts, right? Whoever loses that stream, and we'll tally it up, will actually have to go on a live stream again, right? And I'm going to invite all of the subscribers and give them a time to come see the loser. We don't know who it is yet. And actually, we'll have to do whatever the audience tells us to do, right? And that includes all the things that are being banned. I don't want to suck on a banana. I can't even eat carbs, okay?
Yeah.
So hopefully I win this one.
I can agree to that. I need a massive comeback because you absolutely destroyed me on that date.
That was not nice, was
We've only recently started talking again.
We only recently started watching that show because
I know.
I couldn't even watch it.
I couldn't get
after
through the whole
it.
thing. That was cringy.
It was funny.
I could agree to that.
Okay, deal. May the lucky Irish smile upon you.
It's okay, you too.
Yeah, thanks.
Anyways, guys, please do like, comment, and share at the bottom, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Stay tuned. That's a wrap.
It's real.
Didn't know.
There's nothing written on it.
I know. I thought it was fake.
Oh well.